how are you going to play a role? You've just said that construction professionals need to play a role. So how are you on a personal level going to play a role in this economic recovery, in this infrastructure development economic recovery that we're working on?
Okay, our field is very broad. You could be in a design space or the construction space of the infrastructure development, and I'm fortunately still in the construction part of it. So, as I said, there's 2.2 million people that have lost jobs in the past couple of months, which is rather unfortunate, So which goes to show, even before the pandemic, over the past 10 years, this industry has been on a steady decline after the World Cup phase was gone. And it's evident in the past few months, in the past few years, your big construction giants have been struggling, and it's how this economy has been struggling over the past couple of years. So if you're still a young professional and you're still within the field, it's your duty to take the stand and ensure that you perform your duties as well as best as you can, in order to ensure that you not only put food on the table for yourself, but in a bigger sense, you're assisting the government revive this economy. So no matter how small the part you think you're playing, it's actually in the bigger picture, in a bigger sense, it's gonna be a more effective in the end. So that's how I believe at the moment I'm playing my part into reviving this economy. Just doing your job as best as you can. I've got skills that I went to university for, and I need to apply those skills and gain more skills in doing so. That's what I can, and ensure that not only the government and economy benefits, but I also benefit in terms of growing my skills and growing my knowledge and enhancing my experience within the field. So yeah, that's what I think.
Thanks. Mbali, moving on to you. So at the tail end of your first answer, you elaborated on how you would position yourself. You'd like to position yourself in a technical advisory role, being a bit on how you would personally play your role in the economic recovery. Could you then give us an elaboration on your side for what role you believe you can play in the economic recovery of South Africa's basically built environment industry?
Okay, cool. So I think it's I've thought about this, not just necessarily with economic recovery, but just what roles really do we as professionals in the space have to be playing. And I think it's really a holistic approach, and it starts from investing in various layers. So I've been lucky enough to work for, I think you spoke about it. I actually work for Telkom, guys. I know you were looking at time. But I work for Telkom in their corporate real estate services. They've actually got a huge property portfolio. At the time, it was the third largest property portfolio in the country, believe it or not. So we came in there, and I think I've seen how things come from inception and how developers will start a process and what informs decision in terms of what you are doing. So to answer your question, in terms of how I want to play a role, I think I've touched on the panels. I think at government level or on the spenders, the clients, the people who are spending the money, in terms of people who are securing the funding and going into projects, you want to be there at that level and have some influence, so that those decisions taken, so to speak, are properly informed. A lot of times when people go off into these boardrooms, into these meetings, and go to keepers committees and will go and sell dreams, but when you don't have the right people who understand exactly how industry works, you find that it's very easy to pull the wool over people's eyes. And that's why people will sell projects which are really not sustainable, or projects really are not buildable, so to speak, So you need people who've got the know-how to be able to say, but hold on, this doesn't make sense, or the pricing strategy of this is all wrong. This is not how this thing works. So that's one aspect of it, okay? on the actual execution, I'm a contractor, the same as Msebenzi. I'm a contractor through and through. I've spent most of my career in contracting, and that's the space in which we come in when we have to execute. Because as much as they have all these fancy, clever people, the technical people who will design and come up with all these concepts, somebody has to execute. For me, where my part in this, and it's not just looking now, but it's looking forward. So I'm a huge believer in mentorship. I believe that my career progressed the way it did because of the mentors that I had in my personal life. So one of the things I do actually do quite a lot of mentorship because I think it's important to also, transfer the skills and knowledge to people who are coming up in industry, such as Msebenzi. When I was his age and I wasn't as raw he was, I had people that I could tap into, and ask questions and get knowledge for them, just to ensure that there is continuity, so that when they are gone, and indeed some of them are now retired, that there are people who sort of hold on the flag and we can continue. I'm passionate about the industry. I was speaking to Tammy earlier offline to say, I will be leaving my company, my formal employment soon, but I will also be starting my own thing. And I think that goes to the third place. So more than over and above just being in companies where we execute and employing these people, I'd like to get up to a place where I can create employment as well for other people. So, to like you said, Msebenzi, we have 2.2 million people who are not employed, and if we're all sitting in our corner offices, which is cool, by the way, there's nothing wrong with it, but at some point we have to get to a point of creating, and if I can create employment for 5 more companies, that will be a significant contribution for myself towards the economy as well, and towards economic recovery. So that's really my approach. I think it's really, I see it as a holistic approach, because we want it to be sustainable going forward.